All right, so we are live. Hi, everybody. Welcome to the replay as well. You guys, what is up? What is going on with you? My dear friend Kim Woods is back and better than ever. You guys probably remember her, know her, love her from our annual, New Year's January astrology forecast. But she's here to talk something a little bit different with us about, this coronavirus, the planets, and the madness that's going on right now. So I would just pass the mic over to you, Kim, with all of your wonderful expertise, and I'm going to light some sage.
Okay, awesome. Yay for the sage, right? Like, hello, everybody. Okay, it's a hugely chaotic time, and we're going to just take a deep breath. We're going to take a deep breath. We're going to take a nice inhale and exhale. It's all good. It's all good. I hate to say we knew this was coming. We didn't know exactly the flavor, but we knew. We knew. In preparing for this with Emily, I looked back at my 2020 guide and I was like, oh man, we really did know, right? Okay. But again, we didn't know the flavor and we didn't know the exact impact. So here we are. There's a virus out there. The virus is more potent than the flu. It is. The virus is compared. It's along the same strand, and I'm not a biologist, you guys, but I've just been doing reading. It's along the same strand as SARS, which was around about 2002, 2003. It's been compared to that and H1N1, which was around in 2009. And I think we can gain comfort from the fact that there have been viral strands out there that have been scary, and they've been out there before, right? So I think we can gain comfort in that. What we can't gain comfort in right now, though, is this lack of concerted response, right? And that's why everything seems to be so dramatic. It's so dramatic because the stock market's doing this, and whether you're in it or not, you're just feeling like, oh, this can't be a good thing. Messaging is off, like you're hearing this, and then you're hearing that, and then you're hearing this. It seems like the World Health is saying one thing and then a different country saying another. Here in the United States, it seems like different states are doing things, a different county are doing things. All that is true. That is exactly happening. But I think if we peel back the layers of the noise and we look at the underlying features, we can compare this to those two times I mentioned, back in 2002-3, back in 2009. There is a virus out there that is stronger, and that can be scary, right? Just that in of itself. With a concerted effort, with reasonable approaches, with us knowing that there are testing out there, and there's data, and there's documents, and there's just this lockstep kind of, you can tell that the countries are talking to each other, and that there's scientists working on things, and it just feels more certain, right? And then the stock market doesn't react the way it's reacting right now, and what have you. So I think peeling back and kind of dissecting, I know this doesn't sound astrological, but I'll get there. So peeling back and looking at, quite frankly, the United States is only coming up with travel restrictions, social distancing, and economic things. The Fed just announced it's going to throw $500 million into the economy. Announced it at 1. The markets went up, the markets went down. It's going to do it again tomorrow. The market's good, right? Fed's cut the rate. Trump's doing tax cuts. Those are economic things. We can think that okay, that's great. If we're scared about money, that feels really good. And yet the markets are doing this. The markets are doing this because things are uncertain. So if we just look at it from that perspective, things are uncertain. That is true. But what's really the difference than those two other viruses that I talked about? It's just the uncertainty. That's just the uncertainty. So it makes us feel uncertain. It makes it feel chaotic. But what if we just looked at our own lives and said, yes, we're being impacted. Schools are closing. People might be staying home from work. Yes, that's a definite impact. Other than that, though, if you're healthy, if you're not in your 80s, if you don't have a young baby, be smart, just go with the flow of any sort of travel restriction or any canceled event, or, come up with strategies and planning now about daycare, right? Like what I'm doing is I'm looking at Zoom, because everybody's going to be on Zoom, right? Like I'm looking at Zoom and saying, gee, I have the lowest paid subscription. Maybe I should up that if I'm really relying on that. I have one college student who came home. And so, using data and whatever. So we're looking at our Wi-Fi. I mean, I know it sounds ridiculous, but these are just really practical things that we can do. Okay. But I know you're not here to talk to me about practical things. I know you're here to talk to me about what's going on in the stars. Okay. This is where the stars, I'm going to tell you, I wish I could say that next week it all goes away. I wish I could say that. I can't.
Please say it though.
Well, I could say it. I'd be 100% lying, right? So this is why I started with those non-astrological things, because I wanted to start just to peel back, like just the different components that are acting in chaos. That yes, I'm not saying they're not real, but they may not be impactful to you in particular. So even though that does make the energy crazy and it makes your mind go run amok, it doesn't mean that it actually is real for you. I had a client the other day, and she was like literally freaking out about the stock market. And I asked her, do you have any investments? No. I said, then let's not freak out about that right now. Right? Because if you did, I can relate and totally relate to that. And then say, but there are certain stocks that are doing really well. I mean, like literally, like the general overall is like, right? But then when you peel back the layers, you're like, well, I don't have any travel plans coming up. Great. Or I do, and it's domestic, and it's in a place that is fine. Great. Right? Or it's with a really small group. Or, I'm healthy and all the people I'm going with are healthy, and I don't want to be at home, and I'm not caring for my elderly parents. None of us have any respiratory issues. You know what I mean? So what I'm saying is, like, there's big things out there that just feels terrible right now. Like, it feels terrible. Like, let's just honor and like validate that it feels terrible.
Well, last week, my husband was starting to, like, his anxiety was increasing, and he's like, we have to get to the stores before the food's out. And I was like, okay. And we went to the store, and the baby, actually, my oldest son fell asleep in the car, so I was just sitting here. He went in the store with the baby, and he filled up 2 grocery carts. One of them was like mostly filled with water. And I was like, do you think they're going to shut our water off though? And like, so we had to like moderate that. But then we came home, and like, he was like, I feel so much better now that we're stocked up. And I was teasing him, calling him Doomsday Donnie. So I have like a new name for him. And like, he's like, Doomsday Donnie might have been right all along.
I know. Great. Like, right? Like Doomsday Donnie. Okay. My husband wanted to do, we call it end of day shopping. Like he's like EOD shopping. We're like, we're going to go EOD shopping. He did go out and buy like things that we have a stockpile someplace in the basement.
Yeah.
That made him feel better. You know what? If that made him feel better.
That's what I said. I'm like, if it helps you feel better, then that's
totally great. I didn't feel the need to do that. I did my regular shopping yesterday. Like I was like, I'm fine. Right. But so that's the thing. I did a message in my own group a few days ago, and I really said, do what you feel is right. Like go into your intuition, right? Don't worry, I'm going to get to all the stars, but go into intuition. If it feels right for you to go on a trip, go on the trip. If it feels right for you not to go on that trip, don't go on the trip. Like we honor whatever you feel is right intuitively based on you, not the crazy running amok stuff that's happening out there. Because yes, it's real, but I am going to say it's unnecessary. The stock market doesn't need to be doing this. The different economic things that they're doing is it would be great if there were a concerted effort in leadership and we felt that they really had a handle on things, and they were doing the data, and they were doing the testing, and they were tracking, and the hospitals were prepared, and all the healthcare workers had the supplies that they need. We would feel better. That's public health. What we're seeing, travel bans, which is not bad because restricting, right? Do we have enough data? Questionable, right? And these economic, like just like throw everything. It's like basically, it's like a Jason Pollock painting right now. Here's the deal. This is exactly what 2020 is about. This is exactly it. we couldn't possibly have had a concerted effort on this. We couldn't possibly have had leadership. All the indicators in the stars are that we are the ones we've been waiting for. We are their leaders. What does that mean? That things that aren't working, that things that haven't been working traditionally, think about things in government, think about things in pharmaceuticals, think about things in just everyday life that really aren't working. The energy in 2020 is for those to fall away. And that's a really sweet way of saying it. They weren't just like dissolve mysteriously and melt into the ethers.
Well, and I also want to address some of the comments in the, that we're seeing is like people are saying, I'm a mess, I'm really worried, I can't stop crying. And I know, like, I have a friend who messaged me today, and she's like, my kids' plays, their school events, their trips, everything is being canceled or delayed. And we actually have a retreat coming up, and we're like it's on, or is it? Like, there's a lot of like up and down. There's a lot of uncertainty. And so, how do you feel people can create a safe space for themselves and create more certainty when things are feeling chaotic and only feeling like they're escalating? Because there's this unanimous energy that's like starting to breed, and it's like panic, overwhelm, fear. And Andrew was this morning, he's like, well, that's all social media. I'm like, it's all media. It's not just social media. It's everywhere. It's like, you can't avoid it. Like, our kids, my vet just emailed me, my veterinarian. It's like, my personal veterinarian, my dog's veterinarian.
I had a magazine subscription email me today, because we still get it in print, saying, well, there might be disruption. So it's everywhere. It's everywhere. Okay. So here's the thing, and this is going to sound, but then we're going to, I know, I love your stage. Then we're going to get practical. So literally, I titled this full moon from the 9th, Faith versus Fear. Here's the deal. We can choose, and I know, and anybody, you can whack me if you want, but honestly, we can choose how we want to respond. We can react and be swept up in the cycle and just go over and ass over tea kettle and be like that tumbleweed. We can do that. Or we can say, okay, you know what? We are going to have faith. The stock market will regulate itself. People are going to start getting healthy. I mean, things are going to get better. I will say they're not going to get better soon. Here's how we can handle this with more information. This is why we texted each other yesterday and said, oh my God, that would be a great idea. We squished it in time. I mean, I think I came in 30 seconds when you were like, I'll get a link, So here's the thing. So we can give you more information right now. So the reason why I talked about all those very practical things out there, economics and planning and travel, is because that's the way it looks in everyday life, right? So if I were just going to sit here and go, oh, kumbaya, like, let's go meditate, that wouldn't be that helpful, right? We need to start based in reality. Based in reality, it looks very chaotic. Things are getting canceled. It's not that I'm not affected. I've got a college kid that's home. I've got a girl who's not going to Spain for her junior trip. She can't even take the SATs this Saturday. She's texting me all day, like, everybody's leaving. They're self-quarantining. I'm like, you stay in school. Like,
your school is your quarantine. You stay in your school. Right. Stay the course.
And my husband went to New York, he had to come home. Like, I mean, so we're all affected. We are. Here's what we can choose to do. We can choose to inform ourselves. We can choose to arm ourselves with knowledge. And we can choose to say, how are we going to lead in our lives? Right? Because I'm gonna remind, like, this was all in the guide from 2020. I'm gonna throw some dates out there. I'm gonna give you some information. We just have the flavor of what it looks like right now. We didn't have the flavor before, so it's much more tangible. So maybe it's more pertinent at this point, right? So I titled this month Mars Madness. Play on words, right? Mars is running amok this month. What is Mars? Mars is that energy that's like attacky. It's like aggressive. It's just assertive. It's ambitious. It can be a little bit violent, right? This feels a little bit, there's that edge. It's edgy. He's been running amok all month. And I titled the full moon, I told you, like, fear versus faith, right? It's gonna continue to escalate through this month. I will tell you, April has its own flavor. May, June, July, August have their own flavors. So let's just roll it out. Let's just talk about it. Let's just talk about what it can look like. But there is this gorgeous underlying juiciness and beauty of it. We called this year the rite of passage. It is dawning a new era. When we get to the winter solstice, it will be a new era. It's literally like the next 500 years. When I said that back in December, everybody was kind of like, great, right?
When is the new solstice?
It's the 21st of December. So,
okay.
right? So we don't have to wait till then. We're going to get glimmers before that. So yeah, so don't worry. But here's, we're arming ourselves with information. And like when we met, it was the end of December, and we could say the things. I could say the things, but they didn't have any pertinence. So I'll be honest with you. I had a few people being kind of cheeky in January and February going, it feels great. And I didn't want to say, oh, just wait. I was just like, okay, it's going to build on itself. It's going to build on itself. Here's what we constantly have to remember. We are the ones we've been waiting for. We chose to be here at this time, in this place, with these people doing these things. We chose to be here. We're the ones.
Mm-hmm.
So being a leader, all of this stuff, the yummy juiciness, goodness underneath all this stuff, is to be the leaders. And what does that mean? You can be the leader in your household. You can be the leader for yourself. You can be the leader in your business. You can be the leader for other parents at schools. You can be the leader for your parents if they're elderly, right? And what does that mean? It doesn't mean that you're not afraid. It doesn't mean that you're not being impacted by these things. I'm going to share, I buried my father unexpectedly on Monday. I'm being impacted. Thank you. I mean, I'm being impacted. It was not something, it was totally out of the blue.
Yeah.
Not related to this at all. Like just boom.
Yeah.
We can be impacted, and we can choose how we want to respond.
Yeah.
We can look at that and we can say, there's huge beauty in that death that he's now reconciled with my mother. And I had this gorgeous healing with the two of them, right? And I shared it with my whole family. So again, we can choose. We can choose to look at this as, gee, hasn't everybody been talking about how busy they are? And how full the schedules are, and how torn and twisted and like really stretched they are. This can really be a beautiful moment to gather ourselves.
For sure. And I want to mention sort of, Sally mentions, well, I'm not scared at all. I feel the same way. I honestly do, because when you look at the data and the science, and they show that people who are over the age of 60 with a compromised immune system, who are, at higher risk for other diseases, who have high, like blood pressure, diabetes, like all these other risk factors, you're like, okay, well, so I'm not in that bracket. And my immune system is pretty strong. And so if you don't already have a compromised immune system, cancer, like all these other little, you're kind of outside of that realm of possibility. Doesn't mean I want to expose myself and see what happens. No, not really.
Right.
But I feel like with the data, the information that I'm digesting is like, okay, there is fear stuff out there. There is like everybody mass hysteria. Like my husband, when we went to the grocery store last week, he was like, it's going to be barren. Nothing is going to be there. We got to go now. I'm like, every shelf is fully stocked. Like there's 5 people in the store besides us. Like it's going to be okay. So it's like,
right.
We have to be conscious of the energy that's being spewed at us. Somebody was saying, like, I get out of the 3D and go into 5D. Well, like, yeah, but not everybody can do that. So it's good to be able to put like a protection. And Christina was saying she's a pastor and she does prayer service. And I said, well, maybe you should do it in our group too, for people who would like that up leveling, that uplifting, and that extra little bit of faith to protect you and to plug into your faith. And as Kim is saying, is like, be a leader. So which way are you leading? Are you leading into fear, or are you leading into faith?
I love that you just said that, because that's exactly true. And you're leading by reaction. And I hate to say this is what the US government is doing right now. It's just reacting. And look at the chaos that creates. So we can view that and we can say, you know what? We're not going to do that. We're going to lead in response, right? So when my son, we flew him back on Monday night, and then literally I talked to him on Tuesday, and we had to fly him back last night. And I was like, great. Bring all your things. We're just going to bring all your things. I'm not going to get a return ticket. I don't believe the date that they gave us. So we're just going to do the things. And I had a conversation with him about what it would look like, because it's different than college. So I'm leading. I'm having a conversation. Here's the expectations. Here's what we're going to do. It's going to be different. And here's where we are. right? Same thing with my daughter. Spain was canceled. I'm like, okay, this is what's going to happen. This is what we're going to do. This is what it looks like. So you can look at that and you can just take each thing individually and you can say, okay, this is how I want to handle it. And or you can go in, because this is, April's going to be bringing some more testing of priorities. Again, I mentioned this back in December. It's what's really important to you. That's what a leader does. A leader sets a vision. What's really important to you? Is wellness important to you? Is you know what I mean? Like, is fun important to you? Is education important to you? Like, whatever. I'm trying to grab 3 different things. Like, whatever you're deciding is really important to you, then maximize your resource and your energy and your focus on that. So if you say, everybody says for their intentions, right? Health. And then you don't hear them using health when they make decisions during the year.
Mm-hmm.
So if what Emily said, if you're healthy and you have a great immune system, make sure you have more immune support in your house, right? I was talking to a client this morning and we were both saying it's the end of the season. We need to get more immune things that we normally use because we normally wouldn't get them. So I made this weekend, I'm going to go out and get some things that I normally have for the winter.
Yeah.
I wouldn't normally have them now. Right. So I will make time to do that. I'll go out to do that. The other thing is, if you know that there's no one in your area that has it, no one in your contact that has it, and that you're not going to be seeing anybody that could be compromised, you probably have more flexibility and availability to be out and about. If any one of those things are true, that you're like, no, I do have some compromise myself or in my family, or I have young or old living with me, or we usually just we're just really susceptible to respiratory things. Like some people just are, right?
Right.
Then you might make different decision. Things will be rescheduled. Right? Things are going to be rescheduled. I can't even tell you the list of things that we were going to, nope, can't go, nope, cancel, nope, can't. I mean, we could be bummed about that. We could be reactive about that. We could have that kind of be swirling in our minds. I just keep looking at the kids going, you'll go later.
Well, and I think a lot of, big events or industry events that they do, they're canceling and things like that. I think they're doing it preemptively, not because they're panicking or because they have it, but preemptively to protect the people, so that people who are going to be traveling to those events aren't full of fear and maybe therefore not present or not able to enjoy themselves, or even just preventing them from being possibly exposed in a way that they don't.
Exactly. Because one of the 3 things, like again, we talked about that testing and tracking. We talked about, getting the healthcare system, available to heal people. The third one is limiting travel. It is social distancing. This is one of the things, the reason why it sounds different for us in the US is because they did it during SARS during 2002 and 3, and they did it during H1N1 during 2009, and that was all in Asia they did it. And they found that it was an amazing technique to limit the virus. So something like that works. And remember, this isn't 30 years ago, guys. Like, I'm dating myself. Like 30 years ago, Emily and I are not talking like this. Like, we don't have cell phones. We have any capability to have any sort of telecommuting. Telecommuting was a joke. It didn't really exist. So now we have more technology. This is where we're going to get a really good glimmer, you guys, starting on March 22nd.
And March 22nd, what's that?
Yeah, so Saturn moves into Aquarius. So here's the thing. You might remember 3 years ago when we first started doing this, I was like, Saturn's moving into Capricorn. I'm like, oh, and knowing this was coming 2020, because he's with all the big guns. Like it's all the big guns that are involved. It's transformation, choice, it's priorities, it's values, it's integrity, it's doing the right thing, it's being a leader under very difficult circumstances. This isn't like Santa Claus is coming, giving you a bag of goodies and go lead. It's like, we're going to take some things away from you, and then we're going to see, are you a leader? Can you do it? And again, when I use the word leader, I don't want you to think of someone like Em or like me, like we lead groups. I want you to think about just in your household, right? Because even if you're single, just you yourself, how do you demonstrate your own capability? How do you demonstrate that you can clear your mind, that you can calm your mind, that you can open your heart, that you can relate, that you can have sympathy and empathy for others, that you can create a vision about this will end and it's all going to be okay. That's it, right?
Yeah.
So on the 22nd, Saturn goes to the other sign, Aquarius, peaks there. So what ends up happening, he goes in on the 22nd of March, he then goes back to Capricorn on July 1st.
Okay.
So we get a 3-month period of kind of looking at, it's a future glimpse. Okay, I will say on the surface, air travel, respiratory things, it's not going to look pretty. I think some of these travel bans and some of these things are going to last longer than we'd all like. I know that when I hear that colleges have like dismissed people for spring break and they're not going to come back,
Yeah.
that sounds humongous. And then when you really think about it, you're like, they're just going to go to online school for a few months.
Yeah.
Right? Like, I mean, it's terrible for them because when you say the 19-year-old, the very displeased 19-year-old in my household right now, he has to live home for the next 3 months.
No.
But you know what? It is what it is. There could be many worse things, right? So,
Sure.
right? So we get this glimmer, but so we get this like air travel, respiratory things in the air. Aquarius, wash your hands. I mean, this is hilarious that this is going on. Great advice. It's very common sense advice. But bigger than that, because I always look like more evolutionary than that. It's really, how can we be innovative? How can we be scientific? How can we be for the public good? How can we be individually leading ourselves and yet have this beautiful humanitarian compassion for other? I watched our president's Oval Office speech last night, and I was disappointed in that it was very accusatory. It was very us versus them. It was very like hardlined. And I thought, you know what? That same speech wouldn't really have even happened if it was 2 weeks from now. I don't know that the speech would have landed that. I don't know that we would have even have heard the words. But because in Capricorn, it's very much about leaders, and it's very much about silos, and it's very much about tradition, and it's very much about the patriarch. Aquarius isn't like that. Aquarius is grassroots. Aquarius is organic. Aquarius is building from the bottom up. Aquarius is a democracy. Aquarius is the kumbaya of we are all one. but not in the Pisces way. It's in the like innovative, genius, like scientific, inventive way. That sounds really good.
Yeah, so people might be coming up with better solutions and, creative ways to quarantine, or different ways to connect with people, or maybe new businesses will be born because of this.
Absolutely. Or maybe there'll be a different way to like work with money, or a different way to work from home, or maybe schooling. This will be a really great way for states and communities to say, you know what? Maybe we have a 4-day school week, like when there's a flu, or when there's like impact, because we can now do it. I don't know. I mean, right? I mean, I don't want to freak out all the mothers out there that like love to send the kids to school, because I was one of them. I know.
I had a sick kid last week, and I was like, okay, we can do this.
But here's I've got something to say. There's going to be a lot of teachers that are also at home that might want to make some extra money, that might be like, ooh, childcare, I will be more than happy to help.
I agree, because like I have a babysitter right now with the baby who's downstairs, and I'm like, because I'm thinking like our kids are in school a couple of days, but my oldest is not. But if that were the case, like she would be getting my money every single day, like
right.
That's her new full-time job. She doesn't know it yet, but that would be her new, like people who run cleaning services, like, oh my gosh, a new add-on, a disinfecting. Like there's opportunities to be had. And I'm not to say this is like a doom and gloom, but I'm saying like, maybe there is something nice. So I love that. Jody said, I'm completely up for the challenge. Thank you guys. Inspired, try to keep the calm in this. Yeah. So I think this is a calling for light workers.
Yeah.
This is a calling to hold the energy and like, not in like a judgy way, like, oh, you shouldn't be panicking. Like people can feel how they feel, and there's nothing wrong with that. And like, I mean, I'm a human. We have a spectrum of emotions, and like, there are days and moments where I'm like, And as a leader, like, I'm so glad that you're pointing on this. Like, as a leader, I'm looking at a lot of different things on my plate going, we need to have like plan B and a plan C and see what's going on. So it's not about me. It's for the best for everybody. But what was I just going to say? Dang it. I was like, and another thing. But being careful. So you mentioned elderberries there, but I saw somebody else post about elderberries. Like, we can make these things. We can make our own hand sanitizer. We don't have to only buy like bleach. Like,
Right.
there are alternatives.
Absolutely. And I want to mention a few more dates, and then I want to mention some support.
Oh yeah, please. Yeah.
Okay. So a few more dates. So as we're in this, Saturn in Aquarius starts on the 22nd until December, till January. I'm sorry. Talk about like, we have like July. Hello, Kim, July. Sorry about that. Okay. In the middle of that, Venus is going to be retrograde from May 13th until June 25th. So this is where, when I wrote in the guide, like testing your priorities and reprioritizing for yourself, there are going to be some choices that you're going to have to make. You know what? It just is. We're all going to have to do it. And we can all do it. We can all do it, right? So what Venus is going to be doing, she's going to be asking you to reshuffle resources and reshuffle connections. So this could be something where, okay, the kids are home and all right, I'm on plan C now, right? Like, I'm on plan C. Here we go, because we're in May. All right. And I'm not saying it's going to be like this, guys. I'm just saying if it extends itself as it is now and we run that trajectory, then it could be, maybe 2 or 3 parents get together and say, let's get the kids together. Like, because this daycare is getting a little bit expensive. Let's pool our resources, or we become one day, we've got 5 kids, and then we just kind of shuffle around. That's not such a bad thing, right? So again, what all this energy is teaching us is what is really important to you. Who are you really at the core? Who do you want to be? And like, how can you be the hero of your life? When I say we're entering a new era and this is a rite of passage, this is what it looks like. This is only part of what it looks like. There could be other things. Like, there could be other things. And you know what? We are flexing our muscles right now. We are practicing. Remember that first time you meditated? I don't remember mine. It was so long ago, but terrible at it. Terrible.
Yeah, I knew I was doing it wrong. I did it all wrong. I did it wrong for a long time until I realized, like, that was just my way of meditating. It's okay.
So for me, I couldn't get it. I mean, I literally couldn't quiet my mind for like years. But you practice. So it's a muscle that you develop. So it's something that you practice. I will tell you, I said this in the guide, and I'm going to get to support. I have so many more dates if anybody wants. So if anyone wants the guide, I'll re-put the link in here, because they're all still true. Supports. I talked about meditating every single day in 2020. I wasn't joking. So, and here's the thing. I'm not talking kumbaya, sit on a lotus, cushion and go for your first time for 20 minutes every day.
Yeah.
We've been telling people it looks differently. Sometimes it's a walk. Sometimes it's even like cooking, it's gardening. I think we talked about it last time. Labor that. But I've been talking to people about like little kind of like fun packs in your meditative area, right? So for those Geminis and Sagittarians out there, like, that are like, oh no, my mind is run amok, or because it's an anxiety-ridden time and your mind won't stop, go in with something that you used to use. Go in with a card. Go in with a crystal. Go in with a guided meditation. No harm, no foul. You're not going to have that I am one with God every single time you go to meditate. You're going to have different.
I don't.
I don't either. I have great meditations, and sometimes I have the list running through my head. So I literally, in my journal, like my sacred meditative journal, write the list down to get it. It's just like a dump. Okay, now can we connect? And sometimes I just breathe.
Yeah. Breathing's
always good. Breathing, do the 1, 3, 10 breath. Like, breathing is amazing. It's free. You can do it anywhere. It's so good, right? Super supportive. All the immune stuff. You guys know what to do for the immune stuff, right? If I'm talking to our group here, if it's the elderberry, if it's the oil of oregano, and I'm not a health person, but like oil of olive, like, there's so many beautiful things out there. Use what you normally use. Great. Get your family on it. You'll feel better, and it will help. And then it's back to basics: sleep, movement, eating. just, you guys know this. Again, what are our priorities? Get back to basics. Organic, grassroots. I've been talking, these are how these words weave together.
Yeah.
The other thing I talked about, I had mentioned, I don't know why I'm going to show the book instead. Walnut Bach remedies, right? This is what bottles look like. But walnut looks like this. I had mentioned this. Walnut's beautiful. Whoops. I always go the wrong way. Walnut's gorgeous. Think about the little nut that's being developed. It's a protective like shell. Walnut is so good to calm during times of change. Walnut is awesome. I love walnut. And if you're like, well, I don't want to get that specific, there's always rescue. Right? If your mind is running amok, there's rescue sleep. And you don't use it to sleep. It's just calm your mind down.
Yeah, I have a tincture that I use that it's like Bach flower remedies. I wish I had the name of it now, but I can post it in the free group later. But like those kinds of tinctures, the things that help you to feel your best, feel calm, to feel peaceful. Somebody said lemon balm. Anything that's going to help you to calm your nerves so that you don't feel afraid. Whatever works for you is also wonderful.
Exactly. I'm just throwing things out there if you don't have anything. And the other thing too, in your diffuser, yes, the lemongrass and the lavenders are all good for calm. Throw some conifers in there. Anything that's a tree is really good for lungs. So I have silver fir in mine right now. And I'll be honest with you, I learned that during H1N1. So there's pine, there's spruce, just throw some in, cedarwood, and then great. You can also throw a sacred scent in there for protection. That's like immune boosting. Goes back to the ancients. Palo Santo or sandalwood or Tulsi. I love holy basil. Like anyone.
Yeah.
Great. They're in the air. Everybody's getting that. Everybody's getting that benefit. For stones, like there are stones, and again, I'm not the physical, like lung person, but I read that amber and or moss agate are really good for lungs.
Interesting.
That's super interesting. But the stone that I talked about at the beginning of the year, amethyst, this is your stone guide, right? And you can have little ones. I have some little ones.
I've got my little ones over here.
Yeah, so I'm showing you, grab a pocket, grab 3 or 4 little ones, throw them in your pocket, throw them in your purse, have them on your desk.
Bra.
Yeah, bra, super good for immunity, good for protection, good for connection, good for calm. This is literally the 2020 stone, magic. The other thing I talked about, you guys, was having an oracle and having 2 healers. We talked about this back in December, right? This is, as a leader in your home, in your business, whatever, you want to be taking care of yourself. You want to be making sure that you have your guidance, your guideposts, your healing props, if you want to call them that, right? I'm going to see my flower essence practitioner next Tuesday. Don't even care what's going on. I'm totally going to go see her. She's magic, right?
You had your what practitioner? What did you
flower
say?
essence, flower essence.
Flower essences. Yeah.
Yeah, she's awesome. So that's just my jam right now. So I'm literally look at my calendar. Well, I don't really have time making it. She's in New Hampshire. I have an hour. Totally good.
Yep.
So things like this are helpful. Does anybody have any questions?
Yeah, and I also want to just say thank you for the ladies who tagged your friends. If you guys had shared it with anybody, if you have a private group or a private chat with somebody and you share it with them, thank you guys for doing that. We're not here to spread chaos. We're here to spread calm and to help people with managing any kind of worries or anxieties or stress that they might have, and how to deal with it, and also just to reach out a hand, loving arms, to embrace you guys.
Here's the thing, that we're all in this together. I think that's the beautiful thing, right? And I saved the best for last. I keep pulling this card for it. It's the Surfer, Man of Cups. It's one of riding the waves. It's one of joy. It's one of ease. It's one of peace and harmony. This is the card I keep pulling. And I don't pull cards that often, but with this, I wanted to give you more tangible things. I pulled one for my group. I didn't announce it. I pulled the same one 3 days ago when I went into my group, and I pulled it yesterday and I pulled it today. First of all, I don't pull cards. Secondly, I've shuffled them all, and then I keep getting the same card.
Yeah.
So that is great. So the thing with that is, though, to go with the flow, to ride the wave. And I know that's so much easier to say than do. But we're going to flex a muscle here. going to flex a muscle on this. And we are going to go with that. And I purposely mentioned all those things at the beginning so that this didn't seem too separate from what was going on in the world. We could bring that energy in and smooth it out and talk about it and kind of cascade it with other pieces of information that just feel more cogent, right? It feels more, you have surer footing. And for you that do have businesses, you lead your clients. I've got my clients, I'm giving them special meditations. I'm doing extra support if they need it, because this is a time. It's just time. And we're all here because we are the ones we've been waiting for, and we chose to be here.
And I will kind of piggyback on what you said, is like, maybe you guys don't have the words, or you don't want to articulate the words, or you feel like it's not your place to say anything to your clients. This is a perfect piece of content that you can share with them. If you feel like it supported you, that's all you need to really say is like, I just watched this and it really supported me, and I want to share it with you now. Maybe it will help you too. That opens up a conversation as well. If you're like, I don't know if it's me. I mean, I feel like as leaders, Kim and I were both like, ready, let's go. And like, it's just like it came together really fast. We both have really busy schedules. It's like, how does that even happen? Because we have to lead in this way.
Right.
And I had people responding to my email, were like, how do I get the replay? I'm like, don't worry, it's available on Facebook. And even after this is over, I will send out a replay notice, because I know that this is like really powerful content that we can help people with and hold that space for them if they're going through some stuff. Did anybody have any questions for Kim? Kim, can you see the comments on the side or no?
Yeah. No.
Oh, well then I shall read them for you. Strange. Riding the waves. Yeah, riding the waves. Everyone's saying riding the waves. That's the way I've been feeling. Yeah, and somebody said I've been strange. Actually, a couple people said they were strangely calm. Sherry and Marlene. Yeah. Somebody else said that. And I was feeling funky, and I thought I should check my horoscope. So I picked up my phone and had the alert: Emily was live with Kim. Boom.
Oh gosh, I love that. That's perfect, right? I love that.
So good.
So here's the thing. I will say, like, if you want to know what's going on with you specifically, then you need to get your own chart and see where it hits you, right? Yeah. So for each one of us, this is going to hit us in different places. So some of my clients, it's in the money, some of it's in family, some of it's in work, and like life mission, some of it's in using their voice, like some of it is in health, and we're just looking for extra support, right? So if you know that, it's easier, because your mind can anticipate it, becomes familiar to your mind. This is the key, guys. Your mind only wants to work with stuff it already knows. So this is why it's been so chaotic, because it's like, this is unknown and this is uncertain and what have you, right? If you know, and like it may have sounded scary, I was giving you like a date of July. But if you know, fine. Do I think it's going to be July? I'll be honest with you guys, I don't know. Energetically, we should be ramping down, but I don't think the trajectory is going to go that way. I just don't. So literally the energy like goes like this, but I swear to God, the trajectory keeps going up. Just because of collective kind of, energy out there. And this is where what Emily was saying, that if you don't have the words and you want to share, and knowing that we're in this together is super helpful. And knowing that there are other people out there going, oh, you know what? Here's some advice about this piece. Here's some advice about that piece. Here's some advice about this piece. Beautiful.
Sally said, what on the chart should we be looking for on her charts? And then Christina said, where do we get our own charts again?
So, okay, I had said this a while ago. You can go to astro.com, not on this one. I think it was
right, the January one.
Yeah, so on astro.com, like literally astro.com, it's free. You can go in if you know your time, date, place of birth, and you're just going to literally go in and you're going to run it, and you're going to see this googly gook. I just want to make sure I don't have a person. I only have people. I don't have time. Sometimes I just have a date, like a moon or something. I don't have any near me, but it looks like a big, let me just make sure I cover this person's name. Okay. It looks like a big circle, right? And so what you're going to be looking for, see this, wait, and I can never do this right, Emily. Can you do this? Okay. See that green guy out there? That's Capricorn. You're going to be seeing, there's all the energies in Capricorn. You're going to be looking to see what number that is and that house has a certain meaning. So everything's flavored in Capricorn. I've already talked about that. You don't even need to know that. That's what the little sign looks like. The houses are the behaviors in your life. It's the things that are happening in your life. So I can't tell for everybody what's going to go on. I will tell you, I'm doing a special blog post. I'm a little late on it, family things. That's going to run through what Saturn looks like in Aquarius by house, and I am going to do the Venus retrograde. So if you run that, and I'll probably write it in the next 3 days, and then you check my blog, I think my website's right here, you'll know. It will give you more information about that. I think it's this important to do that. Even I don't love it when people are just looking at a piece of their chart, but I think this is really important to help stabilize. So again, like Emily said, like we're doing things to give resource and support, because we're all in this together.
Yeah.
So
one thing that just came up for me was, for people who are feeling a little bit more stress, is to do some tapping with those oils that you mentioned.
Yeah, definitely.
I think that doing some EFT, if you guys don't know what it is, you can look up YouTube. We have EFT in the Mastering Ascension membership. But doing some EFT tapping, just releasing the stress out of your body. Actually, I was listening to a podcast yesterday, or maybe it was this morning, about how, like, if a dog walks into a screen door or something, they shake off, and how in our system, like somatically, like leaving the system of our physical body, releasing that. We don't frequently do that as humans. We suck it in and we hold it in, and that stored stress, that stored emotion can go into pain. And so it's really important that using EFT or shaking or dancing or like ecstatic dance and movement to shake out the stress from your body, so that it doesn't become like a traumatic event or anything that's like stored in your system. Not that it's not like a threat. This is just like, if you have stress, release it. Get outside, release.
EFT is magic. When Gary Craig came out with that like 20 years ago, I was teaching my kids and they were like 3 and 5, and they'd be doing the little tapping, mom, and we do it at the dinner table. This can work for the whole family.
Yeah.
So
Gianna, she's a master practitioner. So Gianna, maybe you can lead the Align Unstoppable Facebook group into a tapping. Like, this is the thing, is like, I want to use the community as our resources. Like, there's so many incredible people in my community, my tribe, that are like, I'm a master at this, I'm an expert at that. Absolutely. Like, so if you would be interested, anybody, leading some work, it'd be amazing. I just made a tapping today and giving away free tomorrow. See, Ivan? Perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect timing.
That's awesome. Someone else is talking about clearing chakras.
Yeah.
Beautiful. I mean, this is the thing. This is an opportunity. Again, sharing just now, stepping up. Like, this is what it looks like, guys. We all have different gifts. Right? And someone has something, and someone else has something else, and someone else has something else. And we can do this. We can rock this, you guys. We can rock it.
Totally. So thank you guys for being here. Thank you for your questions and all the little thumbs ups and hearts. If you guys, enjoy this broadcast, of course, you know that's like the best, to see all the little thumbs ups and shares and tagging your friends and all that good stuff. And if you guys want to reach out to Kim, she's got her website there, kekfreedom.com. You guys know her from our January forecast, and I mean, this might be a great opportunity to re-watch it or re-listen. We have it both here on my Facebook page, so if you go to my Facebook under videos, you'll find it. But then also we made it a podcast episode because it was that good, so you can listen to it too.
I would suggest it, guys, because I threw a lot more dates in there. I didn't want to be all date, because I felt like we've already done it, and B, it's out there. Yeah. So, and that I think has the link in it to the guide if you want to look at the guide, because all the dates are printed out on there. So and again, it still holds true. We just now have the flavoring of it. I know. Oh, here we go.
So good. This has been enlightening. Oh, I'm so glad. If it was good, leave us a thumbs up or some hearts. Yeah. We would so appreciate it. And thank you guys. And if you want to have more conversations, obviously, in the free group, Align Unstoppable, or if you guys are members of Master Ascension, we're happy to continue the dialogue, off of the video as well, and create a space for you guys to feel support and, keeping the energy positive. Gotta plug sessions with Kim and Emily too, if I may. Oh, you're so funny, Christina.
I love Christina.
I know. She's like everybody's best cheerleader. Everyone needs a Christine in their life. But yeah, you can get sessions with Kim if you want individualized readings to work with Kim more in depth. I highly recommend working with her. I've been working with her for years. She's amazing. Can you put a link to the podcast? Oh, one moment, please. I will do that. Kim's going to talk while I go search.
So Emma's good at this kind of stuff. I'd be a disaster, and I'd probably break this whole thing. So we won't be doing that. Okay. So here's the thing. So if anybody has any specifics about anything that we've talked about with Dave, or if you want to go into more specific about, what that Venus looks like. Venus is love. Venus is money. So here's who has something about money that they're being a little edgy on right now. Let's just go for it. I'm like, let's just go right in, right? So because with that, here's what I've been doing with clients is this is what it looks like out there. Like it's like the roller coaster out there right now, like when you're seeing things, right? To be the tree in that, and I have a really good tree meditation, like you literally grow money. Like it's like money does grow on trees. That can be your mantra. That can be the thing. I'm doing something in Power Up. I think I'm going to try to do it tomorrow. That's my free Facebook group. Yeah, look at, we're getting all the me, right? Yeah. So here's what I want to just say to you guys about that, is that money is an outward expression of what's going on internally. So even though we can sit here and say, right, like Emily's a tree, like light beacon, I'm a light beacon, there are several of us that light beacons, we can still see money do this just because it's cyclical, just because it's energy. It's just energy, right? Here's the thing, it's your response to it. It's your going in. I'm all about manifesting more. I'm looking at this year going, boom sauce, it's gonna be my best year ever.
Like me too.
Right? Like
things are starting to really go. I'm like, whoa.
I know. And even if it looks like I've had a podcast that was delayed today, and I've had 2 masterminds that are going to put off. That's fine. Roll with it. Be the surfer. Roll with it. Believe this is faith, right? Know deep down inside it is going to be okay. Mm-hmm. So I've heard you on money. We're gonna do something. I'm gonna try to pop in tomorrow. We'll do something on it. Delicious. You guys just food for thought. Money is awesome. Money is delicious. Money is fun. Totally. I mean, playfully fun.
Yes. Mic drop. I posted the link a couple times. It said I had an error, but I think it actually went through. So you can go to emilyaarons.com/EP106, episode 106. It's also on iTunes, Spotify, Google Play, like all the different listening platforms. But if you just go to my website, you listen there. Money is delicious, right?
Money is delicious. Scrumptious.
I always love seeing your face going.
I said that's what I'm starting to do. And someone else was like, I love how you do the dance. I don't know if I did it today, but yeah. Okay. The name of my group is Power Up.
Power Up, yes. Your free group.
Yep, my free group. Yep, free.
Power Up with Kim Woods. Guys, get it. And so can we let's see if I can link it.
Okay.
Power.
Oh, okay.
I'm going to do it one more time, and then we're going to say goodbye. Power Up.
There's an exclamation point. There's like a star in it, I think.
Yes, there is.
Yeah.
I'm going to see if I can. Yes, I got the URL. I'm going to share this.
Magic. She's all the technical gazelle genius out here.
Let's just make sure it goes through. Yay, it did.
Yeah, it did. It did go.
So that's how you can find it. And Rini, I'm surprised. He was like, I'm on a flight. I didn't even know I could do this on a flight. Like, look at that. He's flying. He's flying through the air with us on Facebook. It's amazing.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
All right, you guys. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you, Kim, as always. So good to have you on. We'll see you guys later.
Bye, guys.